again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. And today we have got ourselves another shawl. It's simple, it's gorgeous. It is the Primrose shawl. Now, recently I did a tutorial on how to do the primrose stitch, and I got such awesome comments from you that I was inspired to try and see if I could make it into a shawl. Well, this is the result. It is just as easy. It's only a 2-row repeat. Absolutely love that. Makes for some very simple stitching that you can do on autopilot, and there is something to be said for that these days. Also, if you end on the sort of picot row, you get a really lovely look on the edge here. Love it. Okay, so for this particular piece that I'm doing, I used Lion Brand's Ice Cream Big Scoop yarn. This video is not sponsored, but I always like to let you know what it is that I use in case if you want to duplicate the results. For those of you that are not familiar with this, it is about 1,117 yards. It is a weight of 3, and it is acrylic. The colorway, by the way, is mint. Absolutely love it. And even though it is a weight of 3, and typically I would use a size H 5mm hook, for this I used a 5.5mm size I crochet hook because it is, I wouldn't say it's a dense stitch, but it's certainly not very lacy, so I wanted to still maintain some of the fluidity of the fabric, the drape. And for today, going to be using another DK weight yarn, weight of 3. I believe this is Bernat Sport, if I'm not mistaken. And so, without further ado, let's get started. Okay, row 1. All right, so as per usual, we're going to start off with our obligatory slip knot. Now, you could start with a chaining of 4 slip stitch to the first chain to create a ring. Honestly, I don't think it's that necessary for this particular piece. So the first chain, that is going to be our working ring, if you will. And then chain up an additional 3. 1, 2, and 3. That is going to count as our first double crochet, and then into that first chain we're going to do our stitches. So going to do 3 doubles into that first chain. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 1, 3 doubles into that same chain that we were working into. 1, 2, 3. Now, yes, this is stretching out, not to worry, we can cinch it up. And then at the very end, chain 1 and double crochet in there again. Now, you're probably wondering, why did we not start off with a chaining of 4? Well, I did do that initially, and I found that this actually works better. Typically, I would chain 4, and then there would be a bigger space here, but actually, I find that it looks a lot neater on the bottom edge here if you don't add that additional chain. You know, it was like looser and lacier on one side than the other. So, yeah, whatever works. So yeah, it was a series of 4 double crochets, chain 1 for a space there, 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. All right, so that is row 1. All right, so ultimately, rows 2 and 3 are going to be the repeat, but we will do it a couple of times. I always like to be thorough. So row 2, going to start by chaining up 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn the work and single crochet into this chain space here. So it gives us sort of an eyelet at the end there. Then going right into the middle double crochet of our cluster, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into that same stitch. So we have sort of a little picot bump right there. Then into the center spine, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet into that same space. Now we have our 3 doubles here. Ignore the last one. So into the center of the cluster here, single crochet, chain 2, whoa, hello, chain 2, and then single crochet into that same stitch. And last but not least, in between the first or last, depending upon how you look at it, this double crochet and this double crochet, in that little space there, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. Now, you might be wondering, okay, so we did a chain 2 here, and we did a chain 2 here. Why do we have a chain 3 here? That's because we need to incorporate our increase of 2 clusters of 3 doubles into that space. And same goes for the end here and the end here. We have a total of 4 double crochets. It makes it easier and a little less congested. So let's move on to row 3. Row 3. Okay, start by chaining up 3, turn the work, and then into that chain 3 loop there, 3 double crochets. There we are. Into the chain 2 space that we have here, 3 double crochets. There we go. And then into the center spine, 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3 double crochets. So 3 doubles. Chain 1, and 3 doubles into that same space. If I can get there. Okay. There we go. Pull out a little bit more yarn here. Okay. Then into the chain 2 loop there, 3 doubles. Okay, last but not least, the chain 3 loop at the end, 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. So that's 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and 1 more double. And there you go. Alrighty. All right, so moving right along, footloose and fancy free, row 4. Could also be called row 2, but hey, we're forging ahead. Start by chaining up 3, turn the work, and single crochet into that first chain space. The row number is not really what is important. It is whether it is a cluster row like we just did or a picot row, which is what we're going to be doing now. So after doing your chain 3 and single into the chain space, go right into that middle double with a single, chain 2, and single in the same stitch to create that picot. Skip right ahead to the middle double of the next cluster, right in there with a single, chain 2, and single in the same stitch. All right, then, it does help actually if you sort of separate out your clusters. The middle double, go in there with a single crochet, chain 2, almost had it, there we go, and single into that same stitch. Then into that chain 1 space in between the clusters, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet into that same space. In the middle double, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. Next cluster, middle double, single, chain 2, and single. Last cluster, again, sort of ignore this last one on the end here, into that middle, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into that same stitch, space. Yes, words are hard. And then last but not least, into the end space here, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. There you go. So, like I said before, if you end on an even row number, you end up with this really gorgeous sort of deckled edge. Absolutely love it. But we're going to keep on keeping on. So let's go on to row 5. Okay, row 5. Start by chaining up 3. Turn the work into that chain 3 space, 3 doubles. There we go. And then in each chain 2 loop, 3 doubles. It's really that simple. Now, as far as what kind of colorways that you might want to use for this particular project, I would say pretty much anything goes that tickles your fancy. Solids always work out well. A variegated with a longer colorway, like with the big scoops, I like it, because the colors all go together, the different shades. And it isn't too choppy. An ombre would be lovely. The only thing I don't think I would recommend would be a very quickly changing variegated yarn. I think it might be a little too busy. So we have reached the center spine, so into that chain 3 space, 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles. So I've got my 3 doubles, chain 1, and then 3 doubles. Now, if you are feeling very industrious with sewing in ends, you could change your yarn every row so that you have your picot row is one color and your cluster row is another. Yes, you could quite conceivably do that, but it would be an astronomical number of ends to sew in. And then, yes, down this side into each chain 2 space, just 3 doubles, just filling those in with clusters until we reach the end. There we go. Another picot here. I know it's not technically a picot, but I like to call these picots because to me, they really look like picots. I don't think that the crochet police are going to come after me. It's okay. Okay, so in this last chain 3, we have our 3 doubles, but then don't forget chain 1 and add 1 more double so that we have something to work with for the picot row. There you go. Now, if you want to, yes, you could end on this row so that you have a nice flat, straight edge. If you are, inclined to do so, hey, more power to you. Dealer's choice. It is up to you. So, because I can't leave well enough alone and I love spending time with you guys, I want to do just one more repeat. Okay, let's do it. All right, so row 4 for the repeat, chain up 3. Regardless of what row you are working on, it's always a chaining up of 3. Turn the work and single crochet into that chain 1 space. Hop over to the middle double, single, chain 2, single. There we go. And then next cluster, excuse me, center double, single, chain 2, single. Now, while I was working on this, I noticed, yeah, it is very similar to the modern granny, but it's a little less lacy because of the positioning of the eyelets. For the modern granny, if I'm not mistaken, it's a single here, then a chain over, and then a single here. And the shells are still aligned, but it's a little bit closer together and a little less lacy than the modern granny. So I'm going to hop over to that middle double with a single, chain 2, single, and so forth until we reach the center spine. And then in the middle here, single, chain 2, single. There we go. And another single, chain 2, single. There we go. And then in the chain 1 space in the center spine, single crochet, chain 3, and single crochet. There we go. And then again, center, single, chain 2, single. In the center, single, chain 2, single. Single, chain 2, single. Single, chain 2, single. Okay, last one. Single, chain 2, single, and then into this last space here, single, chain 3, single. There you go. You get that lovely sort of deckled edge. I love it. Typically, I don't add edging, but this is self-edging, which is, I love it. Can't help it. All right, so one more row to go, and there you go. All right, so row 5 for the repeat. Once again, start by chaining up 3. Turn that work into that chain 3 space, 3 doubles. There we are. And then 3 doubles into each of our picot chain 2 space thingies. So 3 doubles into that chain 2 space, and so forth until you reach the center spine. Now, if for whatever reason you end up getting lost or confused, or really whatever reason, you could always put a stitch marker or a scrap of yarn in the center spine. You could even weave it through the center as you go, because it's very easy, as much as this is an autopilot kind of project, sometimes that is to our detriment. I will be the first to acknowledge that. And sometimes you kind of forget where the center is. It has happened to me too. So that might not be a bad idea. Any little trick that you can use in order to get success out of a project, hey, go with it. Nothing wrong with that. There we go. Got one more. Okay, and I need to pull out just a little bit more yarn. Excuse me. Okay, so we've reached the center spine once again. So into that chain 3 space, 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 doubles. Okay, so I've got my 3 doubles, chain 1, 3 more doubles. There we go. And then into the remaining picots down this side, 3 doubles in each of those chain 2 spaces until you reach the end. And it's as easy as that. If you don't lose your plies as you're stitching, of course. Okay, almost there. And then, after you finish the second to last, which I almost did. There we go. And then in the last chain 3 space, 3 doubles, chain 1, 1 double. So I got my 3 doubles right here. Chain 1 and 1 more double. And there you go. A nice full repeat for our piece here. It is lovely. It is simple, and I love it. I do. I just do. Alrighty, my dears, so that concludes today's tutorial on how to do the Primrose shawl. I really hope that you liked it, and if you did, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation as always. And stay tuned for more, because whether it's crocheting or knitting, audiobook narrations, cooking, origami, hey, you name it. I like to do a lot of different stuff on this channel. And yes, I will also put a link in the description box to the tutorial that I did on this stitch as well. And you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.